Excellent. So welcome to Operation Remote Resilience. My name is Sara. I am a certified level 2 Words at Ease teacher. And today I'm going to guide you through a 30-minute class. And as I mentioned before, we're going to work on some of the areas where we store a lot of our attention in our shoulder and neck, a lot in our hips, and our whole IT band can be really tight. So we're going to work on some of those areas today. And as I said, if you've only just stepped in, you are welcome to use props. I have a blanket, I have a pillow, especially if you don't have a blanket available. I have blocks. So you're welcome to use those. And we're going to start in child's pose. So you can start in a regular child's pose with those knees together. Or if you want to stretch your hips a little more, you can come into a wider child's pose. The knees as wide as that mat and then sit back towards those heels. So choose where you would like to go this morning. And again, you can have those arms nicely stretched out. If that feels good on the shoulders. If it does not, you can gently bend those and allow those elbows to naturally fold. We're just going to take a moment in this pose. Remember, you can always use a blanket on those knees. But as we're in this beautiful child's pose, I want you to really focus on your breath this morning. And just take a moment in the beginning to acknowledge your breath just as it is. Feeling that belly move up and down. Each inhale and exhale. Just being aware of our breath right now. And again, if this is too much tension on our shoulder, you can gently relax those arms. It's your practice. And so now in the same position, I'm going to gently move these hands over to the right. You may want to lift your head slightly, move those hands over to the right. And then gently rest that head back down. We get a nice little stretch here. Down on the left side of the body. Still focusing on the breath. And then we'll gently bring the hands back to center. Again, you can bring that head off the mat and then gently move them over to the left side. As we lean over into the right hip slightly. You see a beautiful stretch on this side of the body. And then we'll gently come back into center. And then we're going to gently raise up into a tabletop. So make sure our hands are firmly planted on the mat. Those wrists are underneath the shoulders. And we're going to start by waking up the hips slightly. And we're going to do some nice little circular motions. So on our knees, now those feet flexed or flat on the ground. And we're going to gently come forward in a clockwise direction. And gently come back towards those heels. Now, how deep you get into this depends on you and your mobility. Remember, no judgment. This is number 2. We're going to do one more in this direction, nice and slow, just waking up those hips. And back to center. And then we're going to go in the opposite direction. So we're going to go anti-clockwise. Those beautiful circles. Waking up those hips this morning. And then back to center. So we're going to do some nice cat-cow. So we're going to take a deep inhale. And as we do that, the belly's going to expand. I'm going to gently look up. And then we're going to exhale, chin to chest. Arching that back like a cat. So again, we're going to take a deep inhale, looking all the way up. And then exhale, chin to chest. Again, inhale. Be conscious of that neck, really allow that belly to expand. And then exhale, chin to chest, really arching that back. And then come in to a neutral spine. So we're going to do thread the needle. It's great for the shoulders. You can use blankets for cushioning the shoulder if you need. I'll walk you through this. So I'm going to lift this left hand up. We're going to gently thread it underneath so the palm is up. And gently bringing that left shoulder all the way down to the mat. So it may feel a little odd at first. And you can bring your hand right by your face. One option. You may want to stay right here. And again, you can have a blanket underneath the shoulder if need be. You can bring this hand, if you have great flexibility, and the shoulder, you can bring it out in front. You can listen to your body. This might not feel comfortable, and that's okay. Another option is to take that hand and gently rest it as you find it on that lower back. So you can place it right here, or you can bring it all the way around to that side. But remember, it's your practice. Really focus on the breath. As we feel that movement in the belly. Rise and fall. Have your eyes open. You can have them closed. And then we'll gently bring that hand back down if you would bang that hand and then come all the way up. So before we do the other side, we're going to stretch this out and come into our puppy dog. So with puppy dog, make sure those hips are over the knees. We're going to bring those hands out in front. And then gently lean back so that glute is raising up in the air. And gently bringing that forehead down, have straight arms. If this ever gets too much, gently relax those elbows, let them fall naturally. It's a little different to child's pose. The glute is up in the air. And again, still focusing on that breath. Beautiful one to stretch out those shoulders, but again, listen to your body. And then we'll gently bring those hands back in into our tabletop. So I'm just going to move around so you can see, but you stay exactly where you are. And we're going to do the other side. So I'm going to move these out of the way. So we're going to lift that right hand. So make sure you're nicely grounded on the mat first. I'm going to take that right hand up. And we're going to gently thread it through. Bringing that right shoulder to the mat this time. So remember that hand can be nicely here on the mat by your face if that is more comfortable. Palm is up on that right hand. You can stretch that arm up. So listen to your body. So you want to stretch it out in front. Or you can even gently bind it. Different options. Remember, no judgment, but where your body needs to go. If there's any irritation in that shoulder, bring it back down to the mat. And again, being aware of that breath. And the breath is your power. And rise and fall with that belly. And then we're going to gently release. If you have a hand behind, I'm going to bring it back down to the mat. I'm going to gently come out of that pose and back to our tabletop. So we're going to do a few more cat-cows. I'm going to take that deep inhale, really expand in my belly. I'm going to exhale, chin to chest. Really arching that back. So again, take a deep inhale. And then exhale, chin to chest. One more time, take a deep inhale. Really allow that belly to expand. And then exhale, chin to chest. And then find that neutral spine. So I'm going to flex those feet. I'm going to come into our first downward facing dog. So hands are firmly planted, fingers spread, feet are flexed. I'm going to push those hips up into our first downward facing dog. So remember, in this pose, I really want you to push through those palms. If you have any tension on those shoulders, you can slightly bend those knees. I'm just going to walk that dog. Feels quite fitting on a Friday. We're going to walk that dog, just bending one knee at a time. And waking up the body. Really in a nice stretch this morning. And then come back down. Really again, push through those palms. Tailbone high in the sky if you can. Remember, you can bend those knees slightly if there's any pressure in those shoulders. And then we're going to gently bring those hands all the way towards those toes. So you may not be able to touch the ground, and that's okay. You can always use a block. Anytime we do a forward fold, you can bring a block about 2 different levels. You bring it here or even higher here. So always know there's that option. So as we're in this forward fold, you can even grab those elbows to form a box. And we're just going to dangle here for a moment in ragdoll. Really feel that upper body get heavy. Feel firmly planted in the ground. And then you can release those hands. And we're going to gently rise up. Arms straight, coming all the way up. And then hands to heart center. So you can stay right here. I'm going to just come and face you. Hands are heart center. And we're going to gently bring this right foot over the left. Now you can have it as close, the idea is to have it as close to that other foot as possible. Maybe it feels more comfortable to have it a little bit further apart. Again, you may need the block. This is great for those IT bands. So we're going to inhale the arms up. And we're going to interlace those fingers into a steeple. Really ground yourself down. And then gently come over into the right. We're going to come into a half moon. Now, if it's not comfortable to have those hands up, you can bring this right arm to the waist and gently leave. Really focus on those IT bands this morning. Nice stretch all the way down that left side of the body. And then we'll come back to center. We're going to do the other side. So we're going to come back to the other side. We're going to come over to the other side. Move this left hand to the waist now if it doesn't feel comfortable. Have both arms. So if you don't feel fully stable in this, you feel like you may fall over. Really ground down those feet into the mat. That will also help, but this will also give you an extra little bit of stability. And always remember to smile and use that breath. And then we'll gently come all the way up. And we're going to exhale down. Now this is where the block comes in useful. So you can use the block to hold on to, or you always come all the way down. But don't feel like you have to. And there's different levels of that block that you can use also. Like I said, this is a great stretch for those IT bands. Allow that head to fall naturally. And we'll gently come all the way up and bring those hands to heart center. So we're going to release that foot. Now we're going to bring that left over the right. So remember, the idea is to have it as close to the other foot as possible, but it may be a little more comfortable for you to go a little further apart. Listen to your body. So really squeezing those inner thighs and raise those arms up. Make that steeple. And we're going to start by coming over to the left this time. Remember, you can have one hand on the waist. A little bit more stability in this pose. Remember to breathe. That's fine. And then we'll come back to center and go over to the other side. So you can have the arms up in that steeple position. Or again, you can have one hand on the waist. This is gently a beautiful stretch down the entire left side of the body. And then come back to center. And we're going to gently forward fold. This is where that block comes in handy. So we're going to exhale, forward fold. You can come all the way down, or if you need, you can take that block. Gently use that block around that neck to gently soften. Remember, there are two levels of this block where you need to go. And just feel that beautiful IT band stretch. I'm going to gently come all the way up. And bring those hands by your side. Releasing that foot. So we're going to take a moment to be in mountain pose. So your feet are grounded down into the mat. Pause by your side. Nice and tall. Just take a moment with your eyes open or closed. Again, dial back into breath. Feeling that movement in the belly. And then on your next breath, you're going to raise those arms up to the sky. And then you're going to exhale, forward fold. Go as far as you can. And then we'll inhale, flat back. So bring those hands above the knees, nice flat back. Really pull the crown of the head. And then we're going to gently exhale, hands to the mat. And then we're going to gently come forward. We can either come into a high plank, or you can come into knees. I'm going to come into a chaturanga, whether on your toes or on your knees. I'm going to show the variation on your knees. So we're going to gently roll forward over on those wrists, gently coming down with elbows at a 90-degree angle, and then come to cobra, and then gently come all the way down on the mat. So we're going to bring those hands on either side, on top of each other, sorry. We're going to bring those, I'm going to move that block, and we're going to bring them on top of each other, almost creating a pillow. You can have those feet a little wider if you need. We're going to gently rest that chin on top of those arms. We're going to do a nice mild stretch on that neck. So we're going to gently bring that right ear on those arms. A gentle stretch on the neck. And again, really allowing the belly to soften, feel that movement in the belly. And then we'll bring it back to center. And we're going to move it to the other side. So now that left ear is resting on top of those arms. And then we'll come back to center. So we'll release those arms and we're going to come onto the back. So we're going to come onto our back. You can always have a pillow or a blanket underneath your head at any point. Get as comfortable as you can. And we're going to come into our bridge. This is one of my favorite poses. So I want you to bring those feet close to the glutes as it's comfortable for you. And then we're going to gently lift up those hips. And this is why the block comes in useful, because you can gently bring that block to that little bony part just above the butt. And we'll ground those feet into the mat. You can also, if you don't want to use the block, this is very nice resting pose, or you can bring those hips up. I'm really focusing, open up this diaphragm. Either way you want to go. You can even, if you want to go a step further, roll onto those shoulders. Bring those hands underneath. Roll onto those shoulders. And open up the diaphragm even more. Remember to smile. Hips up nice and high. Remember, we're really pushing through those heels. We're always told to really squeeze the glutes, but when we push through those heels, we automatically ignite those glutes. And then if you've got those hands underneath, gently bring those hips down. If you've got the block, release that block. And come all the way down to the mat. So we're going to take this left foot. I'm going to cross it over that right knee. So it's going to be a modified pigeon pose. And we're going to start here. And you can, this is where you can be. So we're going to take this left hand. Make sure that foot is a little bit closer to the glute. Take this left hand. I'm going to gently push it forward. So moving that knee out. This is again a beautiful stretch right here. And you can keep it right here if you like. Again, using that breath. Or if you want to take it a step further, you can interlace, you can bring that knee up, interlace those hands underneath, and pull it forward. Get a little deeper stretch flexing that right foot. But again, you will get a beautiful stretch in the hip by simply gently pressing that knee. Wherever you need to go this morning. It's a great alternative to have a baby. And then we'll gently release. Move those knees from side to side, nice windshield wiper motion. And then come back to center. So this time that right ankle is going to cross over that left knee. I'm going to gently take that right hand and place it on that right knee. And just gently push it. Opening up that hip a little bit, pushing on that knee, just gently. We always want to listen to our bodies. And again, if you want to take it a step further, you can interlace those hands underneath that left leg. So you're going to grip those hands underneath. You might want to slightly bring your head up first, flexing that foot, and then bringing that knee towards your chest and getting a nice stretch there. But again, you can start here and just stretch right here. Again, listening to that body. And always listening to your neck too. Sometimes it helps to gently tuck that chin, create a nice lengthening in the neck while we're in this pose. And then we're going to gently release. So hands can be by your side, and we're just going to gently sway from side to side. Nice little massage on that low back. And then we're going to bring that right knee in and bring that left one down to the mat. Flexing that left foot will help. And then just gently with those fingers interlaced around that knee, just gently bringing it towards that right armpit. Stretching a little more as we come towards. And then gently release that leg all the way down. And then bring that left one in. Interlacing those fingers. And bring that left knee in towards the chest this time, flexing that foot. If you can, or sometimes it's helpful to just flex and point and feel the difference. And then we're going to gently release those legs down to the mat. So we're in our resting pose. I know that went very quickly. So we're going to find a comfortable position for us, for ourselves. And you can be flat on the mat. You may want your knees up. That can definitely feel better as we lay flat on the mat. Or you can come into a butterfly, bring those soles of the feet together. You choose where you need to be. I quite often like to have my knees up and really grind down that back into the mat. So we're working a little tense and release. So you can have your eyes closed or open. And I want you to squeeze those toes as tight as you can. Those toes, those ankles, those legs, those glutes. Squeeze that entire lower body. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then release. So this time I want you to make a fist with your hands. And I want you to squeeze those hands, that upper body, those shoulders, even your abs. Squeeze it as tight as you possibly can. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then gently release. This time I want you to squeeze your face. Squeeze everything into the center. Squeeze it as tight as you possibly can. And release. As you now release those muscles, I'm going to gently allow each part of your body to gently rest down into your mat. Starting at your ankles, Moving all the way up to your thighs, lower back, middle of your back, upper back, neck, shoulders. Just allow each part to gently rest down into your mat. I'm just going to take a moment here. Again, with your eyes open or closed. And this is your time to rest for a moment. You can daydream if you like. But if you feel like your thoughts go elsewhere, focus on that spot just below your belly button. And really focus on that. As we want you to start to bring awareness to your body. Perhaps wiggle those fingers, wiggle those toes. And I want you to move over to either your left or right side into a fetal position. And then gently from there, come up to a sitting position and join me on the mat. Remember, in this sitting position, you can take a block. So let's release a lot of tension. Release it a little bit on those knees and hips. We're just going to take one last stretch. So we're going to inhale those arms up to the sky. And then exhale those hands down. Sorry about that. So we're still on our block. We'll do one more since I'm not sure what happened. We're going to inhale those arms up. And then exhale down. Bring those hands to your heart. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you have a fabulous Friday. Thank you for joining me with Operation Remote Resilience. Have a wonderful day. If you would like to scroll down, I think there's a tag at the bottom. If you feel like you would like to donate today, we really, truly appreciate it. It helps teachers like myself provide these resources and allows us to serve those who serve. Thank you again. I will see you next Friday.